right, so it is 6:30, and we can call the March 19th Conservation Commission meeting to order. We have we're currently missing Tim Tenhay. Everyone else is present. All right, so you both gentlemen are here for your new business, so we can. I don't think we have any public comment. We have no public hearings. We have no appointments. No statutory advisory business. So, Jack, welcome. If you would please sign in too, if you wouldn't mind. Hopefully you're a righty, right?
Push the button so the green light gets even greener.
Yep.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay, cool. And hopefully, yeah, good. He's a righty.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I was skiing and I fell and broke my hand, so.
Good run?
Oh, yeah, it was.
All right.
Up until then.
Just get the important part done.
You were having fun doing it.
Yeah, until it happened. So, I have some papers, or packets, I guess, to hand out with the information. Sorry, this side.
Just for some quick background, Jack's been Jack's been to the Grater Road subcom.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and presented
Yeah, and
this
I
already,
presented to you and
so
discussed this. Yeah, thank you. And I have this too.
and where Jackie, a little guidance from you, where this is going to be.
And I actually have some maps too.
Jackie.
Yeah?
Where this is going to be. No.
Oh,
Jack,
sorry.
Jackie.
Yeah.
Where this is going to be on school. It's on the easement that we maintain for the school.
Okay, we can share. The east what?
It's
Sure.
This project is proposed
And
on
I
the
can
easement
share?
that we maintain. The school. It's
Oh,
on school
okay.
property, but it's on the easement that we maintain for the school.
Can share?
Okay.
So we've discussed this, informally with the school committee chair, because Shannon is on the board with the subcommittee for Greater Woods. There's no need for this to go in front of the town council. Is that right?
I believe you're absolutely right. It's school. Never the twain shall meet. It's like the water district.
It's just that.
We are
Share.
sharing.
Good.
This is on both sides.
So what she just said right there is really good news for you, Jack.
So I don't have to meet with the school board?
It is. It's true.
You don't have to go in front of town council.
Okay. What about the school board?
I'm waiting for an answer from Shannon, you met
Yeah,
Shannon
yeah.
Barnes at the
Yeah, right at the
subcom.
end, yeah.
And so that's a school committee meeting, and they may be able just to tell them that this is going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if they need to have you come in.
They
front
don't
and
need
present.
to have me present
We're
and stuff.
we're
and
waiting
show
for
them.
that answer. But
Okay, cool.
And nor the Parks and Rec.
Doing the outdoor classroom?
So this may be your
No.
highest level of
Here.
approval
Yeah.
at the town.
Okay.
So treat this like it's the big one.
Okay. And then for one of the packets, I need to have back, and then I need some things signed on it to
Yes.
allow me to be able to actually build stuff and do things on your property. So to start off, I guess for the people, you guys know where it is, but for the people who don't know where it is, yeah, you have the maps. The star on the map that is circled up in the top left, that is right about where it'll be,
Near you.
I think, because
No,
that.
that's-
Or wait, sorry.
That's existing.
No, so that's the existing one. It will be in between the link trail and the school loop trail, right by the lake.
It's school loop goes there, and there's the
Link
bridge
trail
there.
and what?
There's a
Which is the
trail
other?
there.
And the school loop trail.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
right,
And
like
it's gonna be
there.
South Station.
Okay.
Right about here?
Yeah, right about there, right where it comes really close to the pond.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be overlooking the pond so that people don't try and go down. And I actually have some pictures of, so this is the existing one. I took some pictures of it because I want to base it off of that, because this one looks sturdy and like it worked well, so I want to try and make it like that. And then this picture is the view where I'm standing, is right about where it would be, and it looks out that way, because people walk down there, like even in the winter there were like footsteps going down to the water, which you guys didn't want because it causes erosion and stuff, and it makes it so that the landscape isn't as like pristine, and building it would help like the students and stuff be able to come through and be able to observe the beauty of the nature and stuff without actually having to impact it, and like hikers too, like they can pass by on the trail and be able to see it but not have to actually damage things by going down. And then kind of going along with this, on the back side of this that you guys have of the map, it has some like designs that I made on a computer program to show different angles and measurements of the wood. So the numbers are in inches, and there's different planks of wood going on the floor and on the side, bars to make sure kids can't fall through and stuff, and then there's steps going up. And I was planning on building a bench in there like this one, like adding that on top so that people have a place to sit and observe it, because I don't want to just be standing there the whole time. And some logistics things I have for it is for the school. I need to have the gates opened. Would that be like, should I contact them, or like, do you know who has like the keys, who I can talk to?
Is that a code?
That's
Same
a code.
as Wildcat Falls? All right, yeah, you can contact me.
Okay, so I'll contact you.
That work does need to be done during the weekends.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, because I'm going to be doing it with scouts.
and we should coordinate with the school just to make sure that they don't have any activities planned on the trails.
All right, remember.
Because it's going to be, you can get a car through there.
Yeah, the
And
Yeah, to be able to bring the wood down and stuff. And
the thing that you might run into is there might be a soccer game
okay,
or something at one of the fields.
okay.
So we just have to time it and make sure that it's not
There's not too many cars or stuff in the parking lot, and kids walking. through
right
that
going
area.
up to the
Yeah.
to the you know to the soccer fields.
Okay.
So we just have to coordinate and make sure that there isn't something else going on, but it really shouldn't be that big of an issue. Especially you guys usually start early.
Yeah, like get it done quick before it gets late and hot and gross out. So
Yeah.
it'll be good to be able to do that and not have to worry about the soccers and stuff like that going on.
Right.
Is this the gate that's, if you're at the kiosk in the upper parking lot, that's that gate?
No, the one.
one that
Well,
goes up Gateway Hill.
you could. It's really either or, depending on the trail conditions.
Okay.
You could go through either.
All right.
I would tend to send them.
Is
Up
it
the
a
hill.
farther walk from the one that's closer to the school?
I wouldn't send them around loop
No.
unless there was a truck.
Yeah, it depends on what type of
The
vehicle.
one through the parking lot, right?
I would think that would be easier. That's certainly a car. You can get a car up there.
I just need to make sure that I know which gate it is. So at some point I'll check
can-
with you or
we can-
Matt or.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think going around the loop trail would be kind of difficult.
Yeah.
It would be close, but
It depends if you guys have a pickup truck and it's June,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about water and stuff.
then you can bring it right to the site. You don't have to stop and cross a bridge
Yeah.
with lumber. You can
Okay.
literally drive it, and
Which
Along
one is
dump it.
that?
Along that,
that's the one behind the kiosk, down the hill behind the
It
kiosk.
goes off around loop. That's the entrance
You
to
can
loop.
drive
So that's the
that?
one that if you go past the school and then you go up the hill.
Oh yeah, I remember where that
That's
is.
Gateway.
Okay, yeah.
That's
Is
the
this the
Gateway
one we're
Trail.
talking about?
That's the Gateway Trail. Then you go straight through the parking lot up the hill is Gateway Trail.
Is it behind the
If you go
school?
up to where the kiosk
Or-
is and go to the right of the kiosk,
When you
Right.
pull
That's
into
the
the
one that
parking
goes
lot, there's a kiosk there
that one
on
we
the
can
right-hand
get 'em
side.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right there.
That's
Behind
big
the
enough for a
kiosk,
pickup.
there's a gate there.
Okay, yeah.
So that's the
Yes.
one we're
You could
talking
actually
about.
go down there, and you
Okay.
could drive right to
The
it.
same code.
You wouldn't
Okay,
have to
yeah.
cross that bridge.
Double check it.
Oh, like
The-
the footbridge and
the
stuff.
one that goes up
like-
the
yeah.
link.
You can tell me anything
Okay,
because I'll
cool.
just forget it.
that's very steep. Yeah.
Okay, so while I'm talking to you about the
I'm going to give you my cell phone number when,
okay, I was
when
about
this
to
is
say.
done too.
Yeah, while I'm talking about you about
Thank you.
opening it, we'll figure out which one to
Okay.
open and stuff.
Okay.
Cool. So for fundraising, I was planning on doing a fundraiser, and actually recently a friend of mine told me that he got, or like friends of his have gotten money from my school for doing community service type things like this. So I was gonna contact my principal about that and see if I could get money from the school to help pay for all the wood and stuff and the prices of that. And I was planning on doing a Krispy Kreme fundraiser and or bake sale, and if people donate it too, to be able to add to that. So I need probably about $600, like $550, $600 for it, and I'll get a lot of the materials just by like borrowing them from other scouts in the troop and stuff, so that I'm not spending extra money that I don't need to. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this. Who would probably be the best one to sign and fill out everything? Would that be you?
Probably.
Okay. So should I do that now or after the meeting?
You can leave it. We can grab it right here. We can.
Okay. There is
So, do you have some plans for this? The full form? right here?
yeah. So there's the project beneficiary, the like place name, and then the representative. That'd probably be you, and then you have to sign there.
You need this back tonight?
Yeah, that'd be best, but you could mail it back.
Because I can sign it and leave it downstairs with the community development, and then you can pick up a copy. Because we need to have a copy of this.
Oh, okay, yeah. If you need a copy of it, that's fine. We can pick up a copy of it. I just need to make sure I have a signed copy of that because they need your signature for that. And then also on the packets, on the last page, it's like technically page 17, but there aren't 17 pages.
This one?
It has more things for you to sign based on permission to do things and like that you guys own the land and that I'm giving this to you, like donating it to you. So after I'm done, it's yours and not still mine, like for legal stuff.
Right.
It's the same form.
The exact same one?
Yeah, this was just, you started to fill this one out.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought that
It's
they were
alright.
different.
That's all right. Less things you have to sign. Questions? Anyone's got questions?
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions about things or anything that they?
I do.
Okay.
So you're planning on using pressure treated lumber.
Yes. It doesn't like rot.
When you do your cutting, are you gonna cut on site?
Probably unless it's donated and like they cut there.
So typically when you're cutting pressure treated on site, so I don't know if you're bringing a generator
Okay.
and you're gonna do your cuts.
I could get it cut at wherever I buy it probably, because like Home Depot and stuff usually has. No.
No, that's
Oh.
fine. I give you high props if you can build that whole thing without having to have a saw out there.
So my concern is when you cut with the pressure treated lumber, a lot of sawdust on that hill, it's gonna run off right into the water.
Okay, so like a tarp or
So a
something?
tarp would be
Okay.
best if you cut all your sawdust goes on the tarp. Tarp gets rolled up, thrown in the back of the pickup truck, and disposed of
Okay,
off-site.
cool, yeah, because
not-
that would
it's-
undo what I'm doing by...
It's not as bad. Pressure treated waste is not as bad as it used to be, but it's still something that we don't want
Yeah.
with the ducks eating, you know. in the-
Yep. Okay, so also, so yeah, students can use it, hikers can use it. I need you guys to sign the forms, which sounds like you're doing, so that's good. And then I'll pick that up. Should you like email me or something? Just tell me
So,
when it'll be ready, or
I will leave this in the packet for
okay,
community development. They'll get it tomorrow morning,
okay, cool.
and they can make a copy of it, and
Question.
they will leave the original downstairs. So, literally underneath this room, there's a door down on the outside of this wall. that
Oh,
leads in
okay.
under-
Like outside, there's a separate door that goes in.
There's on the ground floor, and that's the community development office. And
Okay,
you can go
cool.
in, I'll let them know that you're going to be coming in.
Yeah,
Tomorrow?
probably, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So tomorrow, I guess.
You want to park down there because you can't get from here down to there.
I didn't be able to walk. Yeah, his office is like.
So my question is, so this is your deck.
Yes.
Is this facing the lake or is it flipping?
It
So,
would flip.
okay, because my question is if you're sitting there, you want to see the lake, right?
Yeah, the bench wouldn't be exactly right up against there, but I was planning on having a bench like on the sides or something,
Okay.
so that like you could
Yeah, you see
still
what
be
I
able
mean?
to see it, but like
The bench would be perpendicular to the view, like this deck,
yeah, like so, or I guess I could draw it out quickly. So like there would be so like this is the view, and then the steps would be like over here, and then the bench would go along like this side and these sides, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to like see the view if you're
Right.
facing this way. So
Mhm.
I could go along the sides and back.
I don't know how many people use the deck, but one thing maybe could save money, I know, is that deck didn't have to be as deep, I don't think.
Like, was it like
Save
set
some.
deeply or something?
No,
or what-
I didn't mean set the, I just mean the dimensions.
Oh, it didn't have to be that big.
In my
Is that the one
opinion.
over by BB?
Yeah.
No, that's the one right next to the school.
That's
That's the
one
one you
next
can
to the
see the
The
school
one by
from.
BB,
I think it's about the same size.
About the same
I
size.
think
Yeah.
they were the same size.
Because the one by BB was great when they had the wedding on it.
yeah, that's
Yes.
true. But that's a wedding. That's
There's
true.
gonna be
If
a
you have
wedding.
We've had people married on
yes,
the decks.
That's big.
yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
they weren't all on the deck, but yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So,
Money.
do you think that's a good size, or should I downsize it any?
I would make it a whole lot smaller. I mean, it's
Especially if you're not going to have that to sit. If you just have the sides to sit,
Yeah, it's not.
a lot of people will stand too. You know,
Yeah,
they're
just kind
gonna
of like
go
take a
and
5-minute break while they're hiking, like look out and
look
stuff.
over. Yeah.
Get their glasses on.
Yeah.
And see what's going on down there.
All the birds and stuff.
Yeah.
There would be more than one bench.
Oh yeah, like there would be like multiple benches going along the sides and stuff. Yeah, because otherwise, not many people would be able to sit there.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, I made this suggestion about 4 times a year.
Oh, your mic's
Oh.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
You're all set.
If you could let someone who has access to everybody's email know when you're having that bake sale or whatever fundraiser, so we know.
Yeah, I
Nobody
just like
ever
can't
lets
plan
us
it
know.
yet because like
Oh, sure.
I need to get stuff from like the actual Eagle board.
Oh,
but,
even the
yeah.
day before, I mean.
Yeah, I would
that's
gladly contact everyone
Yeah.
about it. I
Because
just
nobody ever does.
Do you live in Merrimack?
no, I live in Bedford.
Okay, because my suggestion would be, you're not on Facebook, are you?
No.
Okay. Do you
I
know
can look at
anyone's on
Facebook
Facebook?
off of
If your parents or someone who you know is on Facebook, then they can join the one of the Merrimack forums and they can put something on
Yeah,
there.
I think my mom is. Oh, they did.
No, there's another forum. There's
Oh,
the,
there's another
the
one?
big one that
47 more.
people are using now is called a New Positive Merrimack Forum.
I like the name of that, but the other one, which was the complain about things.
Yeah, I understand it. So is it
People have
positive.
migrated, so they're working hard over there. So
We were on the other one. And then,
yeah, but if your mom signs up for that, then she can put something on and let people
Okay,
know.
cool. And let people know that there's gonna be
Yeah.
stuff. Okay,
So
that's a
I'm
way
going to
get
give you
news.
my phone number, and I'm going to write that down for you too.
Yeah, obviously, if you keep us in the loop with your planning, we can post it on our website. Some of the social media sites like that, we can at least try to drive as many people to
Yeah,
your
yeah.
fundraiser as possible.
Yeah, that'd be great. More money helps, and then any excess also, forgot to mention this, goes to you guys. So if there's any, there's $100 extra I make from something, it goes straight to you guys to help out, whatever you want to do with it.
And we'll put it right back into the land, so.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. yeah, so those forms getting signed, and that's pretty much it. That's my plan. So thank you.
So,
Thank
Any more? Oh, sorry.
I
Do you have
apologize
another?
for being late.
Oh, it's fine.
Are you planning a plaque or something to commemorate your work?
Yes. Is there anything specific to have on it that you guys want? I was planning on having something on there.
I don't have anything specific. I would just like, I think the name, troop number, and the fact, the Boy Scout Eagle Project, something like that, so
Yeah,
people
yeah.
understand what that was, that was a dedicated
Yeah, like
project.
built for, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd like you to take credit for your work and your efforts.
Yeah, yeah, of
And
course.
also, we're selfish. By you advertising your work, it'll encourage other people to do the same
To do
thing.
more things here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Like that, we've had some Girl Scouts doing some
Oh,
work for
really?
us too.
Yeah.
Yep, they
Yeah,
retreaded
cool.
some bridges for
and
us.
bridge repair and everything. People want to
Nice.
get involved. So.
And redid a cabin at Wasserman Park.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice.
So,
Excellent.
yeah.
Well, we thank you very much.
Yeah,
We
okay.
appreciate you picking the Merrimack Conservation
Thank you.
lands to do your Eagle Scout project.
Yeah, I'm glad to get started on it.
You can email me and keep me posted. You have on all the emails that you get, my email
You're
will be
like,
on there.
okay,
I'm just
attached.
Jean Rossetti, so just reply all. And then my cell phone number is there, and that's the Facebook, the New Positive Merrimack Forum. We
Okay,
advertise.
thank you. And thank you everyone for listening.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
Heal quickly.
I know. How much longer are you in your cast?
Like 3, or I've been wearing it for like a week, so like 3 more weeks.
Did you have to twist his arm to do this project?
You're righty.
I heard this pop.
And,
Oh. Can I keep this one?
yeah, I just wanted one back to
Okay.
be able to show my leaders and stuff.
Okay, super. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Thank
I'll
you.
see you guys later.
Is that your? Is that your?
Okay, thank you, bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh wait,
Is that your?
turn that out? Or yeah, that's my water bottle, sorry. Okay.
That's for.
Or yeah, that's the sign-in sheet. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Horse Hill Nature and Conservation purchase mud signs. Oh, whoops. I think I already signed it.
Done.
All right, so, yeah, if approved, whoops.
Motion to approve.
All right, so, we have, do you know about this, Cindy, I'm assuming?
Did I know about
Do
it?
you know about this?
Yeah.
Um,
I took a picture today of the sign if anybody wants to see them. One of the signs.
Peter, the chair of the Horse Hill Nature Preserve, has submitted a request for reimbursement for 6 mud signs. Cindy I have a picture of the receipt. I don't have a picture of the sign.
They're just small, laminated
He's asking
signs.
for the reimbursement of $19.80.
Yeah. I mean, it's not muddy now, but at the time it was muddy, when
Be
it's-
muddy again.
Well,
Right.
You know what? There are some spots that
Is
are
there?
muddy right now.
Okay.
Does anyone want to see the mud trail signs?
Muddy.
Oh,
Mud
yeah.
trails.
Nice.
Sounds like a beer.
All right, so Peter went out and funded this on his own, and he's asking for reimbursement for $20. $19.80.
I'd like to make a motion to reimburse Peter from the Horse Hill Nature Preserve Fund.
Yes.
Second. Did you get the amount?
$19.08.
A second.
Any other comments, questions?
Yes. I didn't know that there was a separate fund for Horse Hill, and are there separate funds for other places?
No. No. Horse Hill has its own when it was first generated, when the property was first purchased, because people were interested in donating directly to it.
Yep. And it's still around?
And it's still around. There's I don't know how much money's in it, but there's not a lot.
It's probably close to $1,000,
Mm-hmm.
that range, yeah.
Is it Mikolazak?
Macholicek.
Macholicek, yeah.
I thought you were just saying Peter because you're like, how do I pronounce the last name? But you know how to pronounce it.
He says it Mikolajczyk, so I'm guessing
Okay.
that's how you. supposed
That's
to
why I
say
was
it.
laughing
You're gonna
because I'm
argue
like,
with him about it?
I'm
I like
thinking,
it.
is he
Go
trying to
on.
get out of
Alright.
saying his last name?
Yeah.
So we have a motion on the table. Any other questions?
Second.
Motion by Matt, second by Gina.
Well, Mike seconded.
Oh,
it.
Mike
I'm
second. I'm
sorry.
sorry. I'm sorry. Mike
I'm
second. Sorry.
Gina thirded it.
Yeah.
Starting it.
Any other questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 7-0-0. And I don't have to sign it now because it's already
You already signed it.
While we're on Horse Hill, no snowshoe race this year. I just think there probably wasn't enough snow. I never even heard about it. So
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, that's too bad.
Yep.
That's one of the things that funds
Oh, okay.
the Horse Hill Nature Preserve funds. They always give back the money that they earn
How do they earn it?
Oh,
for people
were you in the
signing
wrong
up.
room?
Do you have public input anytime on?
Yeah, we do.
If you have a question?
Sure, sure.
Is that at the end, or?
Well, it is, but we
This is going to be
we
a
don't
fast meeting.
we don't have a lot going on tonight, so if you'd
Yeah.
like to.
Do you mind my interrupting? Just-
No.
Please.
Yeah,
That's
please.
it.
All right, so we're gonna move our second public comment, which is item 10, right up into new business here.
Yeah.
Anyone have a problem with that?
Just if you could sign in.
Pardon me?
If you could sign in.
Oh, sure.
Make sure the make sure the
Mic is
microphone's on.
Yeah, the mic is
I'm
on.
not
It
a
is.
Boy Scout, so I'm not prepared.
Oh, yeah.
But I am a skier. I'm Paul Berry from 50 Marty Drive. And I was skiing with a buddy from Amherst who's involved over there. And he was mentioning that their Conservation Commission is acquiring a packer for cross-country skiing, just like the one that Merrimack had, is the way he worded it. And I said, Merrimack has a packer? And so I went on websites trying to find any information about it, figuring, well, maybe it's being used at Horse Hill, or maybe it's a volunteer group that has it. So being unsuccessful, which has no reflection on your websites, by the way, I decided I'd just pop in and see, do we have one? Are people using it? Where is it being done? And
I think
You
I'm
use
the guy to answer
volunteers?
your question.
pardon me?
I think I'm the guy to answer your question.
Okay.
There is a mountain bike club that owns a trail groomer called a Snow Dog,
Okay.
and it's a snowmobile track that drags a sled
Yeah.
or a groomer,
Oh, all right.
depending on what.
Uh-huh.
Some cross-country ski places, some really small cross-country ski places, use the Snow Dog to groom their classic trails.
Uh-huh.
So they have, on the back of the sled, they have the classic cuts so that they can groom their trails
Yep.
with a Snow Dog.
Yep.
So there is one. It's used at Horse Hill and Wasserman,
Oh, okay.
Wasserman Park.
Yeah. And so then you said it's used by bikers, so it's people with fat tire bikes are going on it after it's been groomed, or?
The volunteer force
Yeah.
that runs the groomer are mountain bikers, but typically we groom all trails, and I think the cross-country skiers probably get the most benefit
Yeah. So
out
is
of
there a
it.
way to get in contact with them, or?
Yeah, I can give you a website.
So you-
Do you have a specific area that you'd like groomed? Is that where
Greater Woods?
Pardon me?
Do you have a specific area that you'd like groomed? Is that where we're going with it?
No, I'm
Oh.
just, well, I actually live right next to Greater Woods.
Yes.
So sure, but that said, if I were to volunteer, I don't have a way to get. Well, I don't have a snowmobile. I do have a trailer, but I was more thinking, well, if they're already doing it somewhere, like right now, I'm driving either north or to Windblown or somewhere, so Horse Hill is certainly a step much closer, and I volunteer for a lot of different groups, so I'd be willing to volunteer if they need that too. But so I guess I'm just collecting information. The season's well, who knows, right?
We thought it was over a month ago.
Yeah. So what's the name of the? If I just Google the group, I assume,
New England Mountain Bike Association.
that sounds pretty easy.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming by.
Thank you, yes.
All right. Getting back in line with our meeting here, back in new business item C, the ARM funding for Grater Road bypass construction. Is this something that you want to speak to?
Sure. So, there's been a call. Oh, you have a copy?
I signed the service contract, so we can do the. Oh, it's the Iron
That's Fields Farm.
So I've got it.
Yeah, sorry.
Don's name on it. I was thinking it was for this.
Yeah. So ARM funds are being released this year where they weren't last year. That's the Aquatic Resource Mitigation Funds that that DES takes care of. They've targeted nine separate areas around the state. They have their website. You can go look at the ARM funds and how they're done and how they're collected and why they're collected, as well as how to apply for a grant from the funds. I went poking around and looking after I heard that they were announced as being open, and realized after I looked closer that you have to submit a pre-proposal by the end of April if you want to try and utilize some of those funds. We had talked about doing the emergency access road in Grater Woods that Don and the engineering team downstairs in Public Works is putting together for us, but we had talked about potentially using ARM funds to help fund that project. The last time we did a project, which was the Red Maple Trail, I think we spent upwards of $60,000 or $70,000 on that project.
Yeah.
So this project I see being no cheaper than the last one, if not more expensive, because we're actually going to be breaking new ground, going where no trail has gone before, basically. So, it being a project that's probably costly and we only have limited funds left, we probably want to encourage outside money to help us get it done. I think we stand a chance at getting this, looking at the rules and stuff like this, because of the fact that we are going to be help preserving a wetland that's currently being damaged by vehicles going through it. Now, granted, the damage is far less now that we put gates up, but that by no means.
Gates down before we take pictures.
Yeah, right.
I'm not worried about that. The fact is the only emergency access through that area is through the wet area. Mm-hmm. So even if there was an emergency, our own emergency vehicles would go right through that wet area, trying to get from one end to the other. So this project really needs to be done, and we don't want people utilizing the wet area any longer. So I think that gives us an opportunity. They will partially pay. They actually like the fact that if someone else is involved with funding the effort. They give preference to projects that have municipal approvals, which this project we've already brought to the town council and discussed when we talked about putting the gates up and closing the road. This is the next logical step in that process. So I think we can speak with some confidence that we have municipal approval. We have the town engineer doing the engineering work, so we're getting funds in kind that way as well. But it means filling out a form. The pre-proposal can only be 1,200 and something words in length, and so it's not like it's going to be a big deal. The part that I don't have any strong inkling on is how much money it's going to cost. And how much money do we want to ask for?
Do they have limits?
Well, I'm sure they do.
Individual application?
I suspect they do, but they've also used it to purchase large parcels of land. They have about $3 million for the Merrimack River area. So that means there's some sizable money to be done. Since they didn't run it a year, they've actually have 2 years worth of money that they can allocate. So I would think we could go for a sizable chunk of change. What's the worst they do? Well, we're only going to give you half, right? Or something like that, right? So.
I don't even know where the emergency access is. Is it down from Conservation Drive?
No, so where we did some work is the other side of it, by the Amherst town line. So are you familiar with the Amherst town line access point. The town of Amherst has a parking
On
lot and a
Grater
kiosk
Road.
off of,
Yes.
Grater Road.
Yeah, we've gone there a couple times
Yeah.
now.
So going in Grater Road from Amherst is a Class 6 road that used to go all the way down to
Wilson Hill.
Wilson Hill Road. But
Oh, yeah.
but we closed off a part of it because it was going through a beaver pond and wet area. We still need that emergency access. If there's a forest fire out there, there's no way to get vehicles in there properly. So, or if someone gets injured or whatever else. So we'd like to build a road that's out of the wetland. And that's what we're talking about. So that way we have good emergency access on the west side of our property.
Yep.
So we have it the north with the red maple, through the center with Gateway, and this would give us access on the west.
Okay.
So,
Has anything progressed with Don, with the engineering, so that would give us an idea of
so
the scope of the cost?
I asked her, the project, because of the emergency bridge work that had to be done a couple of times last year, she's kind of been put behind. She says she believes with the extra intern help she's been promised this year that she could have the engineering work done by the end of summer. She did commit to putting a project picture or something for the proposal, so we could get something from her that kind of shows the outline of what it is we want to do. So, but essentially we have, a little over a month to put it together, and there's a lot of legwork and writing that has to happen. And the question is do we want to make that investment this year, or do we want to wait for all the engineering to be done, maybe do an RFI to get quotes, and then go after it again next year when we have all the dollars and everything all outlined?
Do we just want to try this year, and if we don't get it, go again, or do we have to get the work done once we get the money?
Well,
We can't sit on the money for a year?
I don't know how long we can sit on the money. Since the awards aren't done until September, I would imagine that we have time to spend the money. I can't believe that, because they use it to purchase lands and do other projects, so I would imagine the money is good for a while.
Yeah.
The grant that we got at Watson Park was, you deal in them all the time, but it was good for, like 4 years. It was very long.
Yeah. So,
I would have one of those kind of strike while the iron's hot type of thing.
mhm.
If they've got a lot of money set aside this year, I think there's going to be a little bit more, potentially more leniency on funding these projects versus next year. I mean, if they blow through all this year, which potentially they could, next year it's going to be right back to small budget.
Yeah. Yeah, or a missed year where they don't even do anything.
Right.
Right, so, all right. So, yeah, so we don't have extreme details. It's not like it's a project sitting on the shelf waiting to get done, which is what we've had in the past. So, when you submit a pre-proposal, they'll give us a response as to a thumbs up or thumbs down. They may just say, well, it could be a thumbs up if you could provide this extra data or format it. But the thumbs up is just going to mean okay to continue to the next phase, which is to put in a formal request. Okay, it's going to be no more than that. There'll be no commitment that, oh, you absolutely have the money. It'll only be you can put in a full request. It gets reviewed by a board, and final approval actually comes from the executive council. The people that sit with the governor and actually approve to spend the
New
money.
Hampshire Executive Council?
Yeah, they do final approval. I would suspect they do approval of the entire allotment of monies to go out. I don't think they actually pinpoint every project, but they might. I don't
I
know.
bet they do. They
So-
at least name it.
They probably are aware of every project, but yeah, so.
And during the second round, at the time when you had to submit more information, I mean, hopefully we'll have that more information to give them.
Yes, well, it would be incentive to get it done,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The thing is the people that are doing the critical work don't report to us. So we may have to make a decision around that, so. Whether it is we bring in outside engineering or what, but.
Do we want to have, like, a couple of us meet you know, I can download the forms and take a look at it, and a couple of us can meet and try to hammer out a rough draft of it?
Yeah, so the forms are pretty basic. It's project costs, how much do you want them to, and then a little bit about the project. But then I think it's that verbiage or that narrative that has to go with it that I think is going to take some effort
Okay.
to put together.
What do we think that would cost? Around $100,000 or something?
I
I couldn't even guess.
couldn't, yeah, but I would suspect that's probably not far from the truth, so.
Over 60,000, no more than 150,000, somewhere in that
Yeah.
range. Just to get the trucks on site is big.
Yep. So,
I mean, Red Maple was 60,
I think somewhere around
Yeah,
60.
it was high 60s, yeah.
Yeah.
and this has some slope work.
So it'd be more.
Red Maple did not.
Would Dawn have any idea how much it would cost?
That's the thing. If anyone could take a swag at this, then I'd be back to Dawn and Kyle.
Yeah, right.
So say, what can we expect? You know, brand new Woods Road per square, cost per square foot at 13 feet wide or whatever. Because that was, even if we went back and looked at the Gateway proposal, there was so much lumbering, so much timber came out of that. We still ended up with, almost breaking even.
So we could sell the wood?
Well,
That had substantial lumber.
Okay.
This doesn't.
This
Okay.
doesn't.
Okay.
yeah. And this involves multiple culverts that have to be done on the road that we're keeping, never mind where we're doing work. It wouldn't be necessarily culverts where we're doing the work, because it's
Pretty
up
high.
and then it's back down again, but there certainly has to be drainage control, water, stormwater control that has to be put into this. So yeah, there's certainly going to be some efforts involved. So if we want to move forward with it, we can start putting some of the narrative together and stuff like that.
Okay.
But you're right, I think a couple of people working it.
Yep.
I don't expect we'll get a whole lot out of Dawn between now and then, but we can ask.
Well, the least we can do is just give her our proposed schedule of that we're trying to do this, and this. So we're expecting, here's the timeline for the ARM funding. So, we'll be looking for your support. And just let her know she can. She wanted that. She wanted to help us. She enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Said she wanted to do it. So.
Was there a specific date, like end of April or
April 30th.
April 30th?
That's when all submissions are required, so we would have to be, so the question is do we want this document before it goes out to be approved by the full commission, or do we need to do that?
When do we meet next?
So we have 2 meetings in April, correct? I would think by the second meeting in April, we would certainly have a draft.
April 16th
Yep.
would be the second meeting.
It gets submitted electronically, or you have to mail it,
I don't know.
Either way, it can always be overnight.
But maybe the 3 of us can meet or something.
Are you up for meeting, Tim? Okay. That's a no.
No,
That's a yes smile.
yeah.
How about if
Just-
Mike and I do a preliminary meeting and then we show you what we have?
Okay.
You want to do that?
You have a
Up to
feel
that?
for what we're trying to do. But what I think needs to be gathered is let's get the Red Maple Trail documentation. So basically what happened is I think Dan Sear and Andy put together an RFP proposal that went out for bid. There was a response. That is probably contained downstairs in our file somewhere. If not, it'll be somewhere downstairs, either in our files or potentially in the community development files.
Okay, I'll look
There
for
may
that.
also be the documentation that went with the Gateway Trail, which would have been, how long ago now? So Red Maple has got to be, 5 years? 4 years?
The trail's got to be approaching 15,
Yeah.
20 years.
Wait a minute. What's the
The
Red
Gateway?
Maple's 5
Red
years?
Red Maple's
14?
4,
I think Gateway's got to be like 15 years or so.
Close.
and Red Maple's probably 4 years.
4 to 8.
Yeah, more before I was on the.
No, that's right. Yeah, I was chair when that happened, so, right? Or I
It was
just
probably
become
6 years
chair.
ago. 5,
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, 4 or 5, probably 5 years ago,
Okay.
so.
All right, I'll see if I can find that.
So,
Yes, let me know. I'll come down.
so if you could at least dig into that and let us know what you find,
Okay.
all right?
Are you traveling at all?
No,
Okay.
not in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, I'll come down.
So back to your question, I'm really tied up this month,
Okay.
but in early April I can make time,
Okay.
okay?
Okay. Well, we'll see what we can come up with then.
Yeah. And
We'll have you.
the application's on their website.
Yeah, yeah. So they have applications for a couple of different kinds of projects. You'll have to look at what you think fits what it is we want to do. So,
Well, thank you for getting the ball started on that. I
Yeah,
remember
thank
talking
you.
about it. And
Yeah, that April date probably would have sailed past,
Well,
knowing that it's September.
We were looking for doing this last year, but then they got bogged down and they didn't have funding last
Yeah.
year.
they're funding, yeah. Yeah, so,
Well, and truthfully, the project got bogged down too. 'cause,
Yeah.
Dawn was saddled with,
Yeah,
Oh, the other
multiple
culvert.
bridge failures in the town here, so she was,
so it wouldn't have worked
busy.
anyway.
She was busy.
Yeah. Okay.
okay. I will forward an email that I sent to Gage to kind of kick off this conversation tonight. It does have a web link in it. Okay,
Okay.
that'll get you close. Okay, I'll send it to everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So this is, we could meet like Thursday or something.
Okay. Yeah, Thursday's the town council meeting for the 111.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll plan to go to that. I'm sure my family will like pizza again.
I'm not gonna be here.
It's okay.
I'll make a mac and cheese.
It's right. I'm okay with that. Yep.
I'll cheer you on from Nashville.
What's that?
Yeah,
Cheer you on
sure.
from Tennessee.
Yeah.
All right. Meet. You can email me. We'll figure out one way or
All right.
around.
Is that we good with that? Is that,
Yep, that's all. Yep.
and just follow up, I guess, going on to old business, just a quick follow-up. I did sign, this is the Meridian contract for services to start that, the assessment of the island parcel. Some basic plan of that parcel.
The what parcel? I'm sorry.
The Fields Farm.
Good.
All right, old business. We don't really have any old business to rehash. Unless anyone has anything to bring up? No. Other business. We can go with subcommittee updates. Has anyone we had a meeting since the last?
Do we need to talk about the highway re-widening or anything? That came through on the notes.
We can.
Do we need to?
Well,
Or is that kind of a done deal?
It's very unfortunate that meeting's happening the same night as the MVD meeting.
Yes.
So. But
So I think that perhaps we do need to be talking about this. I don't, can't really say I've done a lot of research on it. I just kind of found out about it really recently.
Did you want input on this?
Huh?
Did you want input on this?
Have you already got changes?
Just a couple of little things.
No, I wasn't going to
Okay.
plan on collecting them now,
Alright.
but I figured we could wait like a year. we just
Oh, okay.
printed them.
Okay, forget it.
Wow.
It's
The
good.
next chairman's
No,
gonna
no,
be.
it's not.
Be careful.
Yeah, I guess we should. I don't. If you want to talk about it now, if you've got something you want to add, Gina, but
I don't. I printed it and just wasn't sure if this was something that, I know it wasn't on the agenda, but I just wasn't sure if it was something that we wanted to discuss.
I think it's going to be. It's as we review it and figure out where we're going to have impact. I think that's what we're kind of drive our discussions. But
So I think this is yet another step in the long process to get to actually doing the widening.
yeah. I mean, they're calling it the widening project.
Yeah.
So it's that's where its direction's definitely going. So,
Yeah, so there's multiple wetland crossings and bridges that have to be replaced.
yep.
It may impact the state portion of Wildcat Falls. If nothing else, it might be the final thing that clears the way when this project completes to allow us to maybe take some level of control of that property.
Yep.
Because they told us the last time I had mailed with them, with Eileen in the loop, our town manager, was that they weren't interested in a donation or allowing us to manage that property until the widening project was complete, in case there was something that they needed to do with that land. And the most likely thing they thought would be to do something to mitigate wetlands that they're going to impact. So what that means is they would permanently protect that land or portions of that land to offset wetlands that they might impact, which hopefully that permanent mitigation would include the commission at some level, right? Whether they're donating it or giving us an easement to it or something like that we hold as a conservation easement or something. So no specifics yet, but
They know we're interested in it, so.
yeah, they are.
Which is helpful.
Yep.
And they're definitely going to be impacting Merrimack water in the area of between exits 10, 8, and 10, where that water that we've talked about a number of times with Pennachuck, that's 2-lane bridge either way, and it's going to have to be a 3-lane bridge either way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's a definite impact.
that's just one spot.
Yeah.
There's some brook crossings between exits 11 and 12 that have to be mitigated. So, if you're traveling north between where the Babusick Bridge is and Wire Road Bridge, there's some wetland areas in there that have to be handled. There's a Babusick Brook crosses under the highway through there. So yeah, there's going to be a lot going on in there.
Yep.
So.
Okay.
Do you want me to add this as a agenda item for the next meeting?
Sure. I mean, I'm planning on going to the water meeting, so I had planned on doing that before, so I won't be going to this meeting. I don't know if anybody had planned on going to this meeting.
We also have Greater Woods subcommittee meeting that night.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I could always watch it after. We can watch it on TV.
Right.
God bless you.
Bless you.
Yes.
Well, our next meeting is after 27th.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. So I mean, if we can,
Okay, we can talk about it.
if we can get a couple people get a chance to look at this or attend it or watch the video, I'm sure it's going to be replayed.
Well, yeah, and we'll have more information to
Right.
discuss then.
Okay.
Where's the meeting at?
Town
Town
Hall.
Hall. March 27th. There's going to be an open house from 5 to 7, and the presentation's going to be at 7 o'clock, and it's going to be at the Merrimack Town Hall in the Matthew Thornton Room, 6 Babusick Lake Road. It's also going to be on Merrimack TV. So.
Yes.
There's a website, everettturnpikewidening.com. For those of you interested. All right. We haven't had any subcommittee meetings since the last meeting, so. And we didn't get minutes
I got minutes.
printed. Well,
I read it.
we didn't get them printed, so.
Have you heard anything, just for the subcommittee, anything new on Eversource?
No,
Okay.
I've not. That might be more my fault than theirs.
Oh, okay.
I've had a couple emails out, but I've not really been vigilant about getting back in touch with people. So,
Okay. As far as I'm aware, they have not put any signs up,
yeah. Okay.
but
Yeah, I'll okay.
There were no signs up when I did my pass with the groomer.
oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't had any signs.
What did you say, Matt?
There were no signs up when I went through.
How long ago was that?
Saturday and Sunday morning.
Okay.
they also had not plowed the road or gone in from Natticook. When I say the road, I mean
Yeah.
the
The new road that they built.
Maybe it's on hold till the snow moves.
Yeah.
But it'd still be good to have
They
signs.
just like go from Natticook right up through that farm, to the power lines into Horse Hill.
Yeah, the most of the trucks are in there, and they've been commuting in on quads to the trucks.
Is the snow all melted in there?
No, there's pretty good snowbanks on Natticook.
Mm-hmm.
You know where the road begins on either side, and it doesn't look like anything's gone over, come in, but their equipment's still all down there.
All right. So, minutes. Do we want to address minutes?
Did you read them?
Mm-hmm.
I read them. I only had one correction.
I
I only
didn't.
had one
I did not get them. So, if you want to do minutes, we can. I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the Merrimack Conservation Commission minutes for Monday, March
Fifth.
5th, with changes as follows.
Second.
Motion by Gina, second by Mike. Okay.
The only change that I had was on page 2, line 8. I went online, and Green Snow Pro has a capital G for green, and it's capital SNOW, capital PRO.
All right.
And then the only other question I had was on page 5, line 36. It says cross arms, braces, anchors, guys. What's guys?
Wire. So you know the guy. It's a guy wire, like the top of the telephone poles that come down and anchor
okay.
out. Those are guy wires.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so that's the only change that I had then.
I only had a couple too. On page 4, line 14 should be pole 15 instead of 115.
Ah, good.
That'd be a big place if we had over 100 poles. Right? And then on page 6, row 17, I think they're talking about poles again. It says between structures, 112 and 113. Believe that they meant the poles, right? Between poles 12 and 13. There aren't any other structures.
Who was speaking?
out there?
Don
Dawn.
Alibert.
So I'm thinking
I don't know if I would think that he may have been talking about poles, but he may have been talking about the towers.
Mhm.
I don't know if they're. I don't even know if they're numbered. I mean, I know they're numbered, but I don't know what their structure. I don't know how they're
I
numbered.
think he was talking about
poles.
poles.
It would seem as though that was.
that would be 12 and 13.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
So I thought the poll numbers,
Yeah, they gave us some. I think I still have the stuff
Yeah.
from last week.
they're much higher than just 12 or 15. Just trying to find the picture.
I don't know. They talk about line 380 and 3195.
Yeah, I don't have the picture.
I don't have the picture.
Sorry.
While Cindy's looking for that, does anyone have any changes, comments for the minutes? No? Okay. We'll wait for...
I don't think I have the picture either. Talking about.
Okay. It's all right.
Anyone else have any comments about the minutes? No? All those in favor of the minutes as changed? Okay,
Aye.
passes 7-0-0. Okay. Commissioner comments? Jackie?
No?
Gina? Mike?
No.
Cindy?
No.
Matt?
No comment.
Now,
Yeah.
just as you alluded to earlier, Thursday I'll be in front of the town council discussing our process to change Chapter 111. Basically taking that document in its last revision and presenting it and going through it. I'm thinking, though, that I'm going to just create 3 or 4 cover slides to summarize the document, or at least speak to it at the meeting, just to make it an easier discussion. So I was going to try and put that together tonight or tomorrow and have that sent off to help facilitate the meeting. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Besides that, on Tuesday of next week, the 27th, there is the Merrimack Village District Town Meeting. It's a traditional, old-style town meeting. You show up, you participate, and things happen. You don't show up, there's no vote later, and you wait till next year. So that's the way it works. So
And where is that?
that's
Master Cola Upper Elementary School
yeah.
at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock,
Mhm.
right. Okay.
And there's a lot on the table. There's some new warrant articles, and there are 3 new commissioners looking for, well, 2 new commissioners and a new treasurer.
Well,
for
2
consideration.
commissioner openings
2 commissioner.
and treasurer opening.
Okay, thank
Right.
you.
And moderator?
Moderator as well, right? Yeah, yeah, so it should be an exciting meeting instead of the 30 people that usually show up, so. Yeah, so,
They had a public hearing 2 weeks ago, in which they discussed, they discussed anything anybody wanted to, actually. It was more the PFOA situation, and people got up and questioned about the contents of the warrant articles, which mainly contained items about the budgetary items. And I can't think of anything else other than that type of question was asked.
I think they have a meeting going on in Litchfield right now.
No,
It's-
it's Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Yeah,
Okay.
Wednesday
With
night.
St. Gobain?
Yep. Yeah, in Litchfield, yeah. I do have a comment to make. I am resigning my position because my husband isn't recovering as well. He had 4 cardiac surgeries at Christmas time.
Wow.
And I trust that he's going to be fine, but it's really quite the when they say 6 months, they mean it. And I don't like to leave him alone because he gets dizzy.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than that, but I don't like to leave him alone.
Yeah.
Monday is fine because our son is home.
Yeah.
I know it sounds very.
Yeah.
You're resigning from the Conservation
mundane,
Commission,
but-
or are you resigning only from the
No, the council.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I know. Yes, it's with reluctance, but I really can't leave him alone.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. If he's dizzy, you don't want him to take a fall.
No, as he has.
Yeah, that's
He's
fair.
right now bandaged all up his leg, and so it's it's really more serious than it sounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I'm
so this
sorry.
will go too. I'm sorry to say,
Yeah.
and I'll keep only my town center committee
Yeah.
as a citizen.
Yeah.
well, thank you for serving.
Yeah, thank
Oh,
you.
well, you're
Thank you,
welcome.
Jackie.
You're
I
welcome.
wish him the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll be hale and hearty by this time next year.
I have no comments.
Motion adjourned?
Second?
All right, motion by Matt, second by Cindy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes 7-0-0 at 7:35.